Welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. We're now in the hunting minigame. Basically how this works is you run around town, there will be random encounters. The more enemies you kill, the more points you get. However, if you want to actually win the thing, you do need to kill the optional boss. At least if you want to get certain rewards. Basically, you're going to be running into random battles and killing animals, and that's about it.
Actually, they're not random battles. They're in the field, non-random battles. You encounter
really?
the enemy. You encounter the enemy on the field, and you fight them. And I kind of wish the entire game was like that, because I really love that about Chrono Cross.
And Trigger did that too.
Well,
to an
no,
extent.
my problem
Trigger-
with Chrono Trigger was that there were a lot of the times where it felt like it was essentially random battles because you'd walk onto a space and then an enemy would jump onto you, and it might as well have been a random battle.
Yeah, that's the difference. In Chrono Trigger, you couldn't really avoid the battles. They just happened when you passed through an area most of the time. In Chrono Cross, the enemies were running around the field, and you can dodge around them if you so chose.
Paper Mario style, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good way of putting it. The monsters are not always worth the same point value, though.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes you can get 12 points from a move. The other time you can get as low as 1, which happened to me during my my festival run.
Okay, so you can
However, if you want to be smart, you want to get Freya to win. So basically, don't do anything as Zidane until later on.
Okay, so you said that either Zidane, Freya, or Vivi can win. What's the difference between having the three characters win?
You get a different reward. If Zidane wins, you get a lot of money. If Freya wins, you get a really good accessory for early on in the game. So we want Freya to win. If we somehow get Vivi to win, which I'm not really sure how to because I've never done it, you get a special card for the card game, which I never do because I don't play the card game.
I think the key to getting Vivi to win is to stall like a motherfucker during the Zagnol boss.
So this optional
probably.
boss, I'm guessing you do it with all three of the possible party members.
No, just Zidane.
No.
Zidane and Freya.
No, Freya joins you during the Zagnol boss after Zidane insists that the kill should count for him. Yeah. The Zagnol escaped its cage early, so what's going to wind up happening is that at a certain point during the hunting game, you
have to wait until about 4:30 left on the timer.
Yeah. And then the Zagnol will show up in a certain place. It's kind of a crapshoot, though, because you don't necessarily know this the first time you play the game. Freya leads with 74 points.
So Freya will
I have
always
29.
win if you don't do anything, is it? Or...
Pretty
Freya was pretty much guaranteed to win if you don't kill the Zagnol.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to make sure Freya does win, she has to be the one to deliver the killing blow.
Okay.
And you have to have Zidane actually be down for her to actually kill him.
Wait, so you have
Yeah.
to let Zidane die in this fight?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
However, he does have stuff to steal, so get to stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Zagnol is a normal enemy that you'll fight in the world map later, but by the standards of this point in the game, it's boss tier.
Yes.
Man, I got the Mithril gloves. Hooray.
Now you have to wait until 4:30 for the Zagnol to start appearing, but is I remember correctly, is his location set?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always in the same place. And that's why you don't necessarily... It's a bit of a crapshoot, because if you don't know it's there at that particular point, you could not encounter it at all, or you could encounter it too late to actually kill it.
Yeah. I think it was by happenstance that I ran into it my first playthrough.
I didn't run into it until my third.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I didn't know like where to go.
Is this... Okay, now, Freya as a Dragoon, is it like other Dragoons where you can keep her in the back row and still do max damage with
Yes.
the jump? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why they have her in the back row by default.
Okay. I always like the Dragoon characters in this game. Like, Kane's one of my favorites in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
Although, fuck...
As I understand it, jump does double damage of a physical attack, right?
If not double, then 1.5, I would say.
It takes more
Let me,
time than a standard physical attack.
Yeah,
though.
but at the same time, she's also invincible because no one can touch her.
Yeah, but you know, if it's 2 turns for 2 times the damage, then from the back row, that's actually a pretty good deal. I do like the jump attack, the jump ability, but I don't really find myself using it to avoid shit as much in this game.
Oh, no, it's mostly just, not necessarily with Final Fantasy IX.
Yes, I got the Neo Fork. I got the 2 good items, so...
Awesome.
Not necessarily with Final Fantasy IX because, I'll admit it, I haven't gotten to this point in the game, but in other games with Dragoons in them, like, if the Dragoon misses an attack when she is up in the air, like, that's just a bonus, really, because I've actually had plenty of times, Final Fantasy IV is the first one that comes to mind, where my Dragoon was up in the air when the boss did, like, a party nuke attack, and then I have to, like, scramble through my items to give the white mage the Phoenix down and heal everybody, and it's nice.
It's one of the reasons why you want to have the best of luck or really rapid timing in the Golbez fight. The first Golbez fight where you're trying to get Kane up in the air before he does his paralyzing attack.
Yeah.
Because he'll land when Rydia comes back, and now you have 3 party members that can revive everybody else while Golbez is getting ready to mess your shit up.
And another reason you want to have Zidane down in the boss fight because it ends the minigame completely then.
Yeah.
So you save at least a little bit of time.
Yeah. You don't game over if you die in the Festival of the Hunt. So
yeah.
Yeah, but then you get to hear the music longer.
Well, I do love Hunter's Chance. In fact, if you ever get a chance, listen to the Black Mages remix of it.
The Black Mage is a band led by
Imatsu.
Uh-oh, the plot showed up. One more thing I want to mention about Freya is that her trance is freaking awesome. It turns her jump into an attack that keeps her permanently up in the air until a trance meter runs out, and she just rains spears down every turn.
Yeah.
Where she gets them all, I don't know.
Oh, the energy spears.
Gate of Babylon, maybe?
The Gate of Babylon.
Sorry, I'm referencing a Face Day Night thing.
You and your animals.
So yeah, Burmisha is under attack. No.
Is that the rat place?
Yes.
The rat place. This is where Freya starts to really get it hard, because
shit keeps happening to her.
Shit keeps happening to her and her people.
Now, I kind of feel for Garnet here, because she's been with the group the entire time, adventuring with them and stuff, and now she's being cut out from from what they're doing.
Can only have 4 party members at a time, and we have 5 people here.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
For a while in this game, you actually are confined to a specific party. And, you know, it's obviously it's not as bad as Final Fantasy 13 in that respect, because in 13 you can only control 1, and you can't even choose for a while. For like half the game you can't even choose, but for the entire first disc, you're pretty much stuck with whatever party the plot demands that you have at a given time.
That's almost how, Final Fantasy IV did this for its entire game, where you shuffled around party members depending on the plot.
Yeah. And, you know, Final Fantasy IV didn't really even make up for that in any sense until the DS remake, where you had the ability to sort of shuffle abilities around.
Final Fantasy IV Advance and the PSP iterations allowed you to swap characters for the post-game shit.
Yeah, the game also made up for it that each dungeon was designed around the party you would have in that situation.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was an interesting way of doing things, but, you know, it's obvious.
13, on the other hand, is fucking obnoxious, because it's like, the game will just decide who your party leader is based on arbitrary plot reasons, like, oh, Hope, it's time, you need to toughen up, so why don't you take point now? And then you go through 2 hallways as Hope, and then switch back to Lightning. Okay, sure, why not? And that's the only time Hope is playable as a mandatory leader.
The biggest thing about 13 that bothers me is just that leader dies, game over.
That's something that happens in a lot of RPGs, though.
But
it's so obnoxious, though. You know, it's such a stupid stipulation.
Yeah, they fixed that in 13 too. Fortunately.
Good.
Yeah, when your leader dies, you switch to the other person.
Yeah, like every other Final Fantasy is like, if the character's knocked out, you bring him back. You bring him back with a Phoenix down.
Yeah, getting straight up Shin Megami Tensei here.
If your teammates are knocked out, you can get them back up with a Phoenix down. Why the hell does not that work for you?
Yeah.
You know, it's stupid.
So why did Garnet drug everybody?
Because they weren't going to let her leave the castle.
Oh, okay.
She wants to go back to Alexandria to get some answers.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what's funny? She asked Zidane for the sleeping weed well before she knew she was about to be cut out of the party. So she was planning this for a while.
Yeah. So what if they did let her go with her?
So the party's splitting now. They're going to Alexandria, and the rest of the group's going to Bermesia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to be with the Bermesia party for the rest of Disc 1.
Okay.
Garnet is the start of Disc 2.
Alright.
Putting Freya in the front row, I see.
Yeah. This party has
Because I wanted,
slot.
because I just want to just use normal attack.
You don't feel like jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lance, not a pogo stick.
This party has an empty slot, and for all the world, even though Kina is optional, there's no reason not to get her unless you're going for Excalibur 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said you
Yeah.
have to get Kina.
You have to get
Eventually.
Kina eventually, but you don't necessarily need to pick her up during Disc 1.
Is it faster to do so later, or...
Well, you have to go into the swamp and deal with cutscenes and stuff to pick her up. So if you're going for Excalibur 2, it makes sense to skip that.
But would you have to
Yeah.
put up with the same cutscenes if you did it later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you were passing through that area anyway, so you do save on a bit of time.
Okay.
So regular playthrough, it just makes sense to get her now. Though, I think because they don't expect you to... They don't make sure that it's mandatory to have Kina during the raid of Bermesia, they act as if she's not there.
What?
Like, most of the time. Like, she has a bit of flavor text.
Yeah, but everyone acts as if Kina isn't there during almost every scene in this game because Kina has
that may be the running joke, but
Kina has nothing of input to add. And if you get Kina early during this game, she gets literally washed out of your party for a while and just sort of lucks her way into running into you again later.
I do know from HBLE's Let's Play that they don't have her in certain CG scenes because she's not mandatory.
The only CG scene that Kina is in the final one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's kind of like in Final Fantasy VII how the CG ending doesn't have Vincent or Yuffie because you might not have them by that point in the game, and that might sound lazy by today's standards, but you have to remember these games were on CDs, and the FMVs by themselves already took up a lot of fucking space. So making a second version of the video file for if you happened to have Yuffie, if you happen to have just Yuffie, if you happen to have just Vincent, or you happen to have both, that's 3 extra video files. No, it's not going to happen.
Especially since they'd probably have to make a new video file. They wouldn't make a separate video file with just that one part of the cutscene because they'd have to load it up during the middle of the CG scene.
Yeah.
It would have to be the entire cutscene with just a Yuffie.
little touch here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this time Zidane's looking to the left.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We didn't actually find out what Yuffie and Vincent were doing during the ending until Dirge of Cerberus, because that's when the opening CG to that is supposed to take place. Kind of a little neat, nifty touch in that game.
Is it?
And I'm going to highlight those whenever I see them, because they're so goddamn few.
So is it canon that Yuffie and Vincent joined the party, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're in Advent Children. Yuffie shows up in Crisis Core as a belligerent child. Vincent, I think, also shows up, maybe. No, wait, no, I'm thinking of the flashbacks from Dirge, never mind. Vincent, surprisingly, as an optional party member, is the recruitable party member with the most plot significance.
Huh.
Do you think that, just to wrap up that, do you think they're going to keep their optional status in the remake?
Probably. But we'll see.
It depends on how faithful they want to be with it.
Well, they can just put them in the ending now, because the ending is probably going to be mostly real time.